Hey guys, welcome to a follow-up video of my Fireball build guide for Sorcerer in Season 5 of Diablo 4. Initially, I did not want to share the build until I have proper endgame footage of how the build is performing there, but since many people ask me about the build details, I will share it now and talk about it. With the current Paragon board, skill and gear setup that I'm sharing in the video description below, I managed to clear tier 100 of the pit in previous season before it was nerfed. Unfortunately, I do not have a recording of it, but I do have a saved screenshot. Now, I know the screenshots can be easily edited, faked, or even I could do pit after nerfs and just take a screenshot of it, so make of it what you will. I cannot guarantee you that my build is the most optimal Fireball build, but what I can guarantee you is that the build will be performing well if you follow my guide, as I plan to regularly update it as I test different things. I'm also leaving a link to the Discord thread where you can get all the build updates, or you can ask me questions about the build. You can also do that in the YouTube video comments below. At the time of recording this video, Lurkin, the amazing guy that makes mobalytics guides for Sorcerer, joined in the Discord thread, and we are currently discussing our Paragon board setup, so if you want, hop in and join in the discussion. As far as the build itself goes, we will discuss our skills first. So Fireball is of course our main damage skill, and we want to spam it every chance we get. Ice Armor and Flame Shield are there to keep us alive, and Teleport is there for mobility. And these skills are pretty much self-explanatory, as almost every Sorcerer build uses these three defensive skills. Now, why Ice Blades? There are two reasons why I like using Ice Blades in this Fireball Sorcerer build. First reason is that it gives us a stack of cold damage for Tal Rasha's unique ring, which is boosting our damage by a lot. And the second reason is that whenever Ice Blades hit an enemy, they reduce all of our defensive cooldowns whenever they strike. This is further amplified by our attack speed stat, which we get on both Amulet and Ring, as well as the aspect of Ancient Flame that we have enchanted on one of our ring slots. Once we get enough cooldown reduction, we will be able to spam our Ice Blades consistently, granting us 3 stacks of Conjuration Mastery always, further increasing our damage and movement speed. Why is the movement speed increase important for this build? I will talk a bit later. Now, Lightning Spear is an absolutely insane skill in this build, and I'm really not sure why it is not used more. When you get Enhanced Lightning Spear and then Invoked Lightning Spear, it makes the spell stun every single target and critically strikes. As we plan to build this Fireball Sorcerer so that it has capped critical strike chance, so every single enemy damaged by Lightning Spear will be stunned, providing us both survivability, because the enemies can't move and can damage you, and damage boost, as we can more easily cleave ground controlled enemies. In the enhancement slots, we are using Firebolt to make our enemies burning, so we can benefit from damage reduction and damage to burning enemies from our Paragon board. And in the second slot, we can use either Fireball enhancement primarily for speed farm and low or early endgame, but on high endgame I found it more valuable to actually use Ice Blades instead of Fireball enhancement, which further increases our cooldown reduction, because we have more Ice Blades available and they reduce our cooldown consistently when they're striking, which boosts our survivability by a significant amount. Now that the skill setup is finished, we will move on to the gear stats. I do not want to waste your time and go over every single gear stat on every single item, but I want to tell you that to play this build you absolutely need these two uniques. The first one is the Staff of Endless Rage, and the second one are the Gloves of the Illuminator, as shown in the build I linked in the video description. These two items make your Fireball extremely powerful, and you'll be launching up to 5 Fireballs on a single cast. They'll have increased projectile speed and will be 9+ levels higher than the basic one you can get from your skill tree, even higher if you get greater affixes. And these uniques will also solve your mana problems, as every Fireball explosion will now refund your mana, so these two items are absolutely necessary for this build. The other two uniques I suggest that you play in this build are Tal Rasha's Ring. It simply provides too much of a damage boost to ignore it, and we can easily get 3 stacks with current skill setup. And finally, The other one are the Isus Heirloom boots. These boots are insane for this build as they're converting our movement speed into critical strike chance. By using Isus Heirloom boots, we can make almost every single, if not every single cast of our fireball a critical hit. We also get, since we have max stacks of Conjuration Mastery permanently, we also get additional movement speed bonus from the Conjuration Mastery stacks and an additional movement speed bonus by tempering it on our amulet slot. For the headpiece, I'm not quite sure for the late endgame if we should go for a Shaco or Crown of Lucian, as I haven't tested one against another, and I will update the build once I test both. I am more leaning towards Shaco because it has 20% baseline cooldown reduction, and if that's greater affix then Masterwork, I think it can go to over 40%, maybe even 50%, so that seems pretty insane for this build for survivability boost. And Crown of Lucian, I don't know, we will have to wait and test it. The rest of the stats and gears you can check in the video guide below. That's pretty much everything I wanted to cover about this fireball build and how am I building it and where it's going, what are the things I'm going to test. And if you found this video helpful, please consider leaving a like or even subscribing, and if you have any comments or questions about the build, you can leave me those in the comment section down below. You can also leave me your critiques about the build, as critiques are the things that I think improve. If they're constructive, at least they improve the builds the most. And or you can join the Discord thread where we are constantly discussing about how we can improve this build and get it to the best level possible to make it viable for multiple endgame game modes of Season 5 Diablo 4.